So we are already knee deep in September of 2024. And just with the energetics of what is going on right now, I think we should all be in a spirit and in an embodiment practice of preparation. Preparation. And when I say preparation, don't worry, I'm not going to be recommending any type of survival kits or urban planning skills set books or crank radio. We're going to be talking about the changes, the preparation, the emotional and mental preparation that will be required for you to move into 2025 successfully. You cannot bring this old stagnant version of yourself into 2025. This old stagnant version of yourself is barely getting you through 2024. I mean, you only have a couple months left and you already feel like the version of yourself that you are now is not even enough to tide you over to 2025 because you need to elevate. You're going through growing pains and you need to elevate. So I'm going to speak on 3 ways we can all be preparing for year 2025. But in particular, if you are a solo entrepreneur, if you're an artist, if you're a business owner, if you are a creative, if you are in the practice of making things, this is really going to be very vital information for you. Because 2025 is actually going to be a launching pad for some and a holding center for others. There's really no delicate way of putting it. You're either going to be propelled into becoming the best, most actualized, most embodied version of yourself, or you're going to be left in stagnation, left in permanent underclass living, left in permanent underclass mindset. And I'm very intentional about the words that I'm using right now. And I hope they're because you need to be triggered. You need to be triggered into action. You've been inactive for so long and fear-based for so long and waiting for a savior for so long. And they ain't showed up yet, have they? They haven't showed up because they're not coming. You're going to save yourself. For chapter 2025, you're going to be saving yourself. So I said 3 ways that we can prepare for 2025. And by preparation, we're talking about mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, right? How do we get to the next level in those arenas so that we'll actually see physical manifestations of our changes show up in our lives, show up in our bank account, show up in our communities, show up in our choices, show up in our subconscious choices, right? And decisions. We're going to get into 3 key points here. So one of the main things that you're going to need to prepare for 2025 is adaptability. Adaptability. That is going to be one of the leading skill sets, habits, tenets that you're going to need to live by. The ability to adapt to your environment. Survival of the fittest is never about who has the most intelligence, who has the most brawn. It's always about who is or what species is the most adaptable to the times that they are in. You do not want to be left behind. And as we move towards a more merciless society in which late stage capitalism will be rearing its head in ways that we have never imagined, you're going to need to be adaptable and quickly. You're going to have to be think on your feet adaptability. But let's just hold that thought of adaptability. It does not mean that you just jump on whatever fad and whatever trend you see because, oh, I just got to be adaptable and be in with the times. There's a certain amount of strategy that is involved in this. Most people will waste their time trying to be adaptable to the things that will not help their bottom line. They don't want to really face and target core issues, the root of problems. They want to just dance around and give the appearance of work, the appearance of action, the facade of progress. And that's not how this goes. This is not how you go about this process. The answers will come to you. You have to be developing your intuition right now. There's going to be times where you're going to be told, hey, I need to learn how to I need to learn how to do X, Y, and Z. And it's been on my mind to do that for some time now. Let me do it right now, right this second. That's adaptability. Split second decisions can be the difference between life and death. I know firsthand. I've had split second decisions be the difference between me being alive and me being dead. And I had to make this decision. I had to make this decision for myself at the tender young age of 10. I won't go into details about what the situation was, but let's just say it was a battle between what my intuition is telling me and what my logical mind was telling me, both of which were only so developed at 10. And intuition's the reason why I'm here today. So when I say in that moment I had to learn to be adaptable, I had to learn. I didn't know if it was a spiritual energy, if it was an angel, if it was an entity. What is this intuition? I don't know what it is that's talking to me right now, but it's telling me to do something that kind of doesn't make any sense. And I don't have a lot of time to argue with it. I don't have a lot of time to question even what it is, who's speaking. But when it came, I heard and I listened. And that's how a lot of y'all are going to be able to change your lives in 2025. Really now. You can apply all of this now, but you're really gonna be forced to apply this in 2025. The training wheels are right now. You got a couple of months to get your training in. By 2025, we all hit the ground running. But you should really be running now and learning how to be adaptable. You're gonna have to learn how to be adaptable out here because there's no room for weakness. There's no room for self-pity. There's no room. There's no room. There's no room. There's no room for smallness. People don't even have sympathy anymore. Go on a TikTok live where someone is asking for money and see how many people are trolling versus actually contributing. When you hit rock bottom, honey, more than likely you will be on your own. And when you come to strangers for help, 9 out of 10, they won't be there for you. You'll be made a spectacle of. What are you going to do? That's adaptability. That's how you have to think. Now, God forbid that type of situation happens to any of us, but you should always be preparing for those types of possibilities. It's nearly impossible to prepare for it, but in the back of your mind, there should always be a little wheel that's spinning and calculating particular possibilities for how your life can go. This can lead to overthinking, yes, and that sucks. But unfortunately, if you are of any marginalized demographic, you're gonna have to think a little extra hard about the life you want. Because ain't nobody gonna be out here to give it to you, and there are no structures in place where you can readily just hop right in and be something beyond a caricature of what society wants you to be. If you want to have any type of ownership over how you walk this earth and what you're known as and what name you go by and what you answer to, you're going to have to define those parameters. It's not going to be handed to you on a silver platter. As I said, adaptability. You need to think on your feet, operate on your feet, take action on your feet, build the parachute on your way down. You're going to have to embark in literally testing yourself and pushing yourself. A lot of y'all are overthinkers, over preparers. You want to eliminate the possibility of this scenario happening and that scenario happening when you need to just let go and learn how to adapt as you go. Because there's some things in life that you'll just never be able to prepare for. And you need to be okay with that reality because there's nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing. Moving along to the second way that you can be preparing for 2025. So I spoke earlier about adaptability being one of the ways, one of the tenets, one of the themes, one of the strategies that you should be utilizing right now to prepare for 2025. So all of that is a perfect segue into tapping into your emotionality, regulating your emotions, tapping into emotional intelligence, and not just tapping into it, but learning how to regulate it, learning how to control your emotions. Emotions, the way that they can be used for or against you, is spellbinding. It's true alchemy. We don't even realize the craft that's in utilizing your emotions, the sparks that are created. It's an energy. It's an energy generator. It's an energy source, emotions and emotionality. And one of the ways in which we are controlled by society is through our emotions. That's why everything is so hyper politicized. That's why everywhere you go, left and right, people are debating about the most, let's just say they're debating about things that they don't have enough money in their bank account to be worrying about. You have bigger fish to fry, and you're debating and getting emotional over things that you shouldn't be getting emotional over. You have people who get emotional over sports, celebrity gossip, things that have no bearing in your day to day. People, celebrities, public figures who wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire. Yet you have more emotionality over gossip regarding strangers than you do the reality of your own life. That's a sign of dysregulated behavior. That's something that you need to work out. Why are you running away from your problems? Because if you're not in alignment with your body, with your emotional container, with your cycle, with how you work, just on an energetic level, you'll never truly be able to get the full extent and the full amount of energy out of your work, because your strategy and how you go about even working is not in alignment with how it should be, with what works with you on a genetic level, or what works with you on a physiological level, or a psychosomatic level. There's so many different variants, and each person has their own specific encoding or own specific essence, so to speak. And you have to honor that essence. You can't take one size fit all approaches. So when it comes to dealing with your emotions, we're really going to need to look into, what are our outlets? Are they healthy? How do we decompress? Who do we go to when we feel stressed? What do we turn to when we feel stressed or abandoned or hurt or any type of emotion? What is our usual form of copium? There's a lot of copium that people have been using to dull the senses. I noticed this especially around 2020, copium levels that people have been using, the many addictions and vices that people have been tapping into. To ascend in 2025, you're going to have to leave a lot of that behind. And that's going to be part of your journey, the journey of sobriety, because a lot of vices are turning into things that are eating you up on the inside and harming you. They're making you question yourself, question your sanity. This may not apply to everybody. Hopefully it doesn't. If this applies to you, I want you to know you'll get through it. You'll get through it. You don't have to go through it alone. Those are the most cliche terms that people tell people. I hate being told that. But it's not about hearing it and rolling your eyes and scoffing at what I just said. Please do it if that's how you feel. But after you're done, apply what I just said to your life. Apply a little thing called asking for help, asking for people to be honest with you. But what are your limits? What are your limitations? What are your vices? What are some things that you could change and improve? Ouch, it's going to hurt to hear that. But you having ample time to work on those vices. So when you begin to reclaim your sense of emotional control by tapping into energy work, healing work, meditation, somatic exercises, there are a whole gamut of ways in which you can heal or go about the process of healing your emotions. The thing to not get caught up in is an endless rumination, an endless cycle of healing and having to reheal and having to reheal and having to reheal. At some point, you're going to have to get off of the healer's plantation, the healing plantation, the healing industrial complex. You're going to have to exit left. And you're going to have to just go and do what you need to do. Get it done. Even though you don't feel like it. Even with a chronic illness. Even with not enough money in the bank. Even with your eye hurting. Even with all the odds stacked against you. You're just going to have to just bulldoze through it. It's literally going to have to be about you doing that. No, you don't have to bulldoze through it forever. It could just be for an hour because you have to show up for people, show up for clients, show up for supporters, show up for family, show up for yourself. Show up for yourself. A lot of what you all are going through is because you think you have time still. You think that there's someone coming to save you. Mm-mm. No, no. See, if you don't have any leverage or true power, you're disposable. You're not needed. And so you're going to have to fight for every inch of ground that you walk on. This is an era where everybody gets a nigga wake up call. I'm sorry to say it. I had to say it. Everybody out here is going to get a nigga wake up call. If you haven't already, they're going to call roll call on all the niggas, and you're going to hear your name, and you're going to stand up, and you're going to say, I. If you don't get your stuff together. If you don't get your stuff together. So lastly, this is specifically for my creatives, my entrepreneurs, my business owners, my hustlers. This is for all the folks out here who are taking control of their lives and just making stuff happen. This is really your time. 2025 is going to be rough, but if you have audacity and courage, you're going to get so far. The thing is, we're moving into a frequency where it's not enough to just be like, I'm an artist and I just want to make art and I just want to just hide out in my cabin and write and I just want to be a recluse. You can do that. And if you have enough it factor, maybe you can get away with that actually working. But for most artists, you're going to find that you're going to have to wear multiple hats in your art. You're going to have to be the performer. You're going to have to be the creative director. You're going to have to be the director. You're going to have to be the producer. You're going to have to be so many different hats. And you're going to have to wear all of them with pride, particularly your marketing hat. A lot of y'all don't want to promote. You literally just want to exist and exude your essence of whatever and have that be enough to fund your business, to fund your life, to fund and sustain your craft. And that's just not going to work. You're going to have to take control of your career. Yes, there are fellowships. Yes, there's scholarships out there. Yes, there are opportunities. But you're going to find that the best opportunities out there are the ones that you end up creating for yourself, where you don't have to beg and scrape for chump change and go through 30 rounds of interviews for chump change. You know that you can create something that's actually in alignment with who you are and what your purpose is, and make damn good income doing so. But a lot of y'all have been teeter-tottering around and pussyfooting around and half-stepping, and you've literally been dancing around, becoming who you know you need to become to get to where you need to go. You want to have your left foot and your right foot in two different boats at the same time. That's not going to work. You're going to have to pick a side. 2025 is where people pick their sides. 2025 is where you're going to see a lot. You're going to see a lot. You're going to see who's really your friend, who really cares about you, where family members are willing to betray you for nothing. They'll sell you down the river for a hot dog. A lot of y'all are going to figure that out next year. You're going to find that out. True colors will be exposed as we move closer and closer towards a survivalist surveillance state. As we move closer and closer towards a survivalist surveillance state, it's going to become more and more clear who your alliances are going to be with. And let's be honest, you're going to have to stand on your own 2 feet and be who the fuck you are. You're going to have to be brave and be willing to be misunderstood and be willing to have people that you once were really close to become people that might end up disliking you. Not because you've done anything to offend them or to harm them, but just because you're being yourself and they can't stand that. You're walking in your calling, you're walking in your purpose, and you cannot be controlled because you are a sovereign being, a sovereign entity, a free thinker, and a creator. Because anybody can think freely. As we approach the age of Aquarius, there will be a lot of free thinkers, but there won't be a lot of creators. There won't be a lot of people who have the ability to truly world build. This is your opportunity to tap into that spirit of world building. A lot of people will promise the moon and the stars. Only a handful of people can actually supply that. You need to be forward thinking for 2025. Forward in your thinking, forward in your application, forward in everything that you do. There's no room to be shy anymore. If you shy out here, you're gonna die out here. You're not gonna make it. You're just gonna be swallowed up into this oblivion of perpetual serfdom and lower classness. Perpetual, in perpetuity. It's like when you sign those slave contracts, in perpetuity. And so a lot of you artists, a lot of us as artists, we're gonna have to step our game up. You need to have just as much chutzpah telling people that you're a business person or a business owner or a business woman, whatever, as you do saying that you're an artist. Stop trying to look cool and cute out here when you need to be taken seriously and using your platform and your creativity to ascend. You should not be in the same spaces, the same spot you've been in 5 years, 10 years, and you're stagnant. 2 years, stagnant. There's something going on. There's a blockage. There's something that you need to work on. And for a lot of you artists, you'll find that your habit of overthinking and your habit of waiting for the muse and of wanting to downplay the necessity of funding, that's keeping you small. There's no room to be small anymore. There's no room for small artists anymore. Small artists, you're not going to be seen or heard from. You're going to be forever applying to an endless loop of fellowships and residencies and being met with crickets. You need to be world class or don't bother. Don't bother trying, because mediocrity ain't gonna cut it. And I don't even mean mediocrity in terms of the art itself. The art itself matters very little anymore. It's the marketing of said art that matters. And all the people that would criticize you for being a business owner, for having prices that aren't reasonable, for not being affordable, they're the same people who, if you kept your prices low and ended up in a pickle and posted a GoFundMe asking people to help you, they would not help you. They would not help you. So a lot of you people pleasers and martyrs, you better get your shit together. Otherwise, you're going to be eaten alive. You're going to be used up by so many people who are just looking for a sucker so that they have a place to live, looking for a sucker so that they have food to eat tonight. You thinking he's texting you back because, oh yeah, he missed all this. No, he just needed room and board and a nice meal waiting for him. And you provide that. And so here he is. You're gonna learn. You need to be business-minded, talking dollars and cents. You need to be thinking about legacy work. If you want to talk about legacy, hit me up. I offer one-on-one consultations in regards to legacy work, in particular creative legacy work. Follow the link in the description for more information. I offer creative legacy consultations where we can go into legacy work, and I offer creative legacy consultations as well as other resources for you to look into so that you can get that mind regulated, you can prepare for 2025, honey. We're forward thinkers out here. We're in the age of Aquarius, and the time to prepare for January 1st, 2025 is right now. Is right this second. I'm going to take the time out for some self-promotion. First and foremost, I want to thank me. No, but not just that. First and foremost, or at least I should say secondly, we will be having our bird song listening circle. Stay alert, stay plugged in. And for those of you who are members of my Patreon, you will have first-hand access to the link before we go live. And lastly, I'm offering creative legacy consultations. This is a must for those of you who identify as artistic or as an artist altogether, as a creative, as a business owner, which you all should if you're listening to me. You may not be doing those things professionally or full-time professionally, but I firmly believe that if you listen to what I have to say, there is a creative spirit within you. So if you want to unpack more on that and get into the nitty gritty, the interesting legacy work behind what it means to be creative, tap in, hit me up, and sign up for a creative legacy consultation. So more information on that will be provided below. And I will be hosting upcoming workshops. So as long as you join my newsletter, you will be kept in the loop regarding upcoming workshops because we have a lot of stuff to unpack, y'all. We need to prepare for 2025. This isn't a joke, even though I'm kind of giddy and lighthearted about it right now because it's all about keeping the frequency up, not about being negative or being a naysayer or being a fearmongerer. No, it's simply about getting people in the spirit of preparation while we have the energy, ability, time, and privilege to prepare. Because when it's too late and time's up, then it's time's up, pencils down. And that's just how it is. So always better to err on caution, especially if you know you out here coming from a marginalized identity or from multiple marginalized identities, particularly financially marginalized, and you think you can play around, you think you can sit around and do your little pop culture exposés, you have bigger fish to fry. So get on it. Book a session with me. Toodles.